It's Monday, January 26th. In the headlines, winter storm triggers flight cancellations between the United States and Jamaica. School attendance remains below normal following Hurricane Melissa. In business news, we have a market snapshot for the trading period January 23, 2026. Regionally, in Antigua and Barbados, eligible undocumented migrants to receive amnesty. And in sports, West Indies under-19s defeat Ireland by 62 runs. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. A major winter storm in the United States has caused widespread power outages and massive flight cancellations, disrupting travel to and from Jamaica. Transport Minister Daryl Vaz says 28 flights were cancelled at Norman Manley and Sangster International airports between Saturday and Monday, with more disruptions likely. Passengers are being urged to check with their airlines before traveling. School attendance remains below normal in several parts of the island following the passage of Hurricane Melissa, despite all schools reopening on January 14. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon provided the update while addressing the Senate on Friday. Denida Rodney explains in the following story that Senator Dixon voiced concern about the matter and endorsed the School in a Box initiative.
According to the Education Minister, school attendance remains below normal in several parishes following Hurricane Melissa. She shared some of the details during her presentation at the recent sitting of the Senate.
In Region 2, we're at 80% attendance. In Region 3, we're at 82% attendance. In Region 4, 72% attendance. Now, those numbers are not where we want it to be. But guess what? We have the numbers. And that's important because it means that we're tracking it. If we don't measure it, we're not really doing anything towards it. And so each week, we're tracking these numbers, ensuring that they're going up, working with our guidance counselors as they go out into the communities.
As part of recovery efforts, she shared that the ministry has been deploying emergency resources to the hardest hit schools, working with international partners.
Partners at UNICEF, 92 heavy-duty classroom-sized tents were donated to schools in the West. UNICEF will also be distributing around 300 learning kits in short order. And if you look outside, and I ask my colleagues on the other side, if you could please look outside, you'll see some of what's happening in our schools.
The Education Minister also highlighted the School in a Box initiative, which allows teaching to continue even where school buildings are damaged.
So if a school is damaged, that school in a box can be used anywhere. It can be in a tent, it can be under a tree. A teacher can deploy that. It has all of the learning resources that would be needed. It has crayons, it has notebooks that children can use, and other material inside of it. And I have lots of examples, Mr. President. And when you look outside, you'll see it. You'll have everything you need to try to do class wherever class can take place. And we thank UNICEF for that. And I ask you to look outside at that huge learning School in a Box is what it's called, that UNICEF has been working with us to deploy across the system.
Additional support is also being provided by the World Food Programme and other partners as the education sector continues to recover in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
Dozens of people showed up to the long-awaited opening of the Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant in Morant Bay, St. Thomas. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Auburn Hill, declared that the $350 million project reflects a broader wave of rapid development happening across the island.
This is a significant investment and I'm happy to see KFC right here, because you don't build an urban center and expect that next day it will all fill out. Banks are coming. Some people who didn't plan to come say, boy, I have to be here. And it is the way that this government sees that we're going to change communities to become investment centers.
Minister Hill took the opportunity to encourage more local and international investments.
There is an opportunity here. In 3 years, you will not recognize this Jamaica. In 3 years, God willing, and we don't get another category 5, with the kind of investment that we have, you won't recognize this place, including you won't recognize St. Thomas, because Kingston won't spread this way.
The Morant Bay location represents an investment of more than $350 million and has created more than 50 jobs, most of which have gone to residents of the surrounding communities. Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Western, James Robertson, endorsed the investment.
The faith that is being shown in the East will never be forgotten, or your efforts will never be let down. To the point where it involves sports, our culture, and our development. You have signaled a lot. Your investment does a lot for development.
Managing Director of Restaurants of Jamaica, Mark Myers, says the decision to locate in Morant Bay was deliberate and rooted in confidence in the area's potential. Major investments in water, security, climate resilience, and environmental protection have highlighted the work of the Ministry of Water, Environment, and Climate Change in 2025. From multi-billion-dollar water projects and drought mitigation to hurricane recovery and plastic reduction efforts, Minister Matthew Samuda says the focus remains on building resilience and improving the quality of life for Jamaicans.
Work on the $425 million Western Resilience Water Project began with the groundbreaking ceremony in July. It will involve the upgrading of transmission mains and pipeline improvement works aimed at addressing water supply deficiencies in the northwestern part of the island. The project spans Jamaica's northwestern corridor, covering major towns and cities such as Savannah La Mar, Negril, Montego Bay, Falmouth, Runaway Bay, St. Anne's Bay, and Ocho Rios, along with several smaller communities.
I am telling you that we are fixing the problem, and we are integrating our water systems in a manner that gives you the certainty that when you go home to your house, you don't need to have a bath one because you can take a shower.
In that same month, the government spent $350 million on drought mitigation efforts to help battle dry weather conditions that were impacting water supply. $250 million of the money allocated was spent on trucking water and purchasing tanks.
Over the last 9 years, the investments that we have made in our water sector have improved and made drought resilient over 350,000 Jamaicans that were not previously. We are currently midway in $22 billion of capital investment in the water sector across potable water, sewage, irrigation that will benefit over 900,000 Jamaicans when complete.
The Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, hosted the 5th staging of FIWI Short Film Awards competition, celebrating local filmmaking while promoting public health awareness of how to prevent non-communicable diseases. Our reporter, Chanel Matthews, was there, and she filed this report.
According to the Ministry of Health, 1 in 3 Jamaicans are hypertensive due to high salt intake, contributing to high blood pressure and increased risk of heart disease. The FIWI short film competition was used to highlight the theme, Stop, You're Eating Too Much Salt, promoting awareness about the dangers of overconsumption.
The FIWI short film competition, FIWI being ours, Jamaican, we started this in 2020 after the COVID pandemic. When we were all shut in, we decided to use Jamaican proverbs as the premise to create short films, and we had a competition. Based on discussions with the ministry, it is a theme that they're pushing and trying to get Jamaicans to be more aware of their salt intake with hypertension and stuff like that. So it's something that they're pushing, so they saw the need to partner with us, and we both pushed it to our participants and they created films.
The competition awarded 8 finalists, each of whom had previously received 100,000 Jamaican dollars to assist with their short films. The overall winner, Amal Wright, copped the top prize.
My film was inspired by JCDC's proverb that they gave us, and it's called "Pit in the sky, fall back in your eye." And in other words, I just gave mine the title, "Turn Back Blow." A lot of persons in Jamaica are affected by hypertension and many diseases, you know. So I had to do this because I have to make people aware with my art, and that's what we did. I'm feeling so elated. As you see me here, I'm just searching for words because there's so much going through my mind, you know. I had a wonderful team, and the team is what did it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Shannon Matthews.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Jamaican-born, US-based Dr. Claire Nelson was named on Forbes as one of the top 50 female futurists in the world and is author of the book Smart Futures for a Flourishing World, a paradigm for advancing global sustainability. Dr. Nelson has also established a space club at Northern Caribbean University and is seeking to replicate same at Dunoon Tech as well as UTech. Dr. Nelson, welcome. The future is in your hands. And
all our hands.
Okay. So, we're doing a series with you, and I really thank you for taking time in your travels around the world. You're speaking on how to plan for the future. You think it's so easy, but it's really a science of thinking about the future. So the question is for Jamaica with climate change a reality. What is the smart future that the average employee who needs to prepare for the financial cost of climate change, what smart things do they need to know?
I want to start with framing what SMART is.
Yes, okay.
So it's an acronym for design thinking for futures thinking. So in this case, the S would be the financial system. And
so system.
All right. And of course, the financial system is funding the different elements in life that are impacted by climate. So for that, maybe it's the energy system, it could be their home, it could be the education, the social infrastructure that supports them. The M in SMART is the metrics that matter. Of course, in the general sense at the global level, metrics in the financial system will be profitability, insurance, the cost of the systems that the finance system finances. A is anticipatory agency. You want the financial system that is able to look out and say, okay, how do we design for climate mitigation and adaptation as opposed to waiting until the thing happens? R is the resilience question.
Right.
How does the financial system itself withstand the shocks if we're talking about more and more increasingly harsh shocks to the economic systems that they're supporting? And of course, T is the transformational use of technology. So the reference to an average employee worker, obviously to the extent that they own a home or they own property, then one of the things they want to prepare for is increased spending on dealing with the impact of climate. So increased spending, if it's a home that's been damaged, you have to have increased savings or increased spending on insurance. because every time you get a hit, you have to rebuild something. You could also have increased spending up front on the cost of hardening your homes for the cost before the disaster happens. You might have to pay increase in cost of insurance, increase in cost of energy and water systems, because the systems that provide that are also dealing with, so they're passing those costs onto the consumer. So those are some of the key things that a worker has to think about. How do you increase your financial resilience itself as a worker to prepare and manage the relief and recovery and rebuilding parts of when a disaster hits?
For the trading period of January 23, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 14,370,522 units, representing 45.67% of market sales activity. NCB Financial Group Limited with 2,971,887 units, representing 9.44% of market sales activities. Wigton Energy Limited with 2,743,716 units, representing 8.72% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, construction, and finance plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market, based on Bank of Jamaica data for January 23, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $157.40 and buying at $156.23. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gain supported by $4.91 transaction spread. The Canadian dollar sold for $116.48 and was bought for $111.57. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of 72 cents in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $212.14 and was bought for $211.42. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import cost debt servicing or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, climate change is not only an environmental challenge, it is a financial resilience test, and credit plays a critical role in both preparation and recovery. Upfront investments such as solar energy, water catchment systems, home hardening, and insurance deductibles often require access to affordable capital, while post-impact recovery demands fast, flexible financing to restore housing, income, and stability. A strong, well-maintained credit report lowers borrowing costs, increases access to emergency and green financing, and speeds recovery when time matters most. In this context, credit repair is no longer about fixing the past. It is a forward-looking adaptation strategy that reduces vulnerability, expands choices under pressure, and helps households and businesses regain normal life faster in an increasingly climate-stressed economy. And that's today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Prime Minister Mia Mottley says while several challenges slowed Barbados' push to become a world-class nation within the 7-year timeline set in 2020, the country has now firmly entered its next phase, dubbed Mission 2030. Speaking after a church service in St. Michael, the Prime Minister urged Barbadians to remain patient and not grow weary as the nation continues in its development plan.
Candidates for the Barbados Labour Party spent their Sunday morning in their constituencies, not campaigning in the communities, but worshipping at churches in the areas they're seeking to be elected to represent. Leading by example, Prime Minister and St. Michael North East candidate Mia Amor Motley joined the congregation at Church of God in Jackson, St. Michael. She says Barbados must remain focused, stressing that once the work ahead is done, the country will be strong enough to withstand the proverbial gale force winds that lie ahead.
We have to have steadfast focus. Steadfast focus. There is nothing in life that is good for you that comes easy. There is nothing in life that is good for you that is not sometimes bitter.
In St. Peter, Colin Jordan attended the service at All Saints Anglican Church to launch his re-election campaign. He says it was a good place to get the necessary grounding for the journey.
When we are embarking on what we are embarking on, which is asking our constituency for a renewed mandate and asking the country for a renewed mandate, we really ought to have wisdom. And we gathered here this morning with Reverend Selvin Lowe and the parishioners at All Saints to ask for that wisdom. And we believe that God will be with us as we move forward in this campaign, and we are asking and praying for success as we move forward with it.
St. Lucie candidate Peter Phillips also says he's putting God first in his campaign. He attended service at the Fosdick Wesleyan Holiness Church.
It is in him and on him that I depend to have strength for this journey, and I want to say to all and sundry throughout St. Lucie, give me the opportunity to continue to do the work that has been started over 17 years ago, the many projects that we have introduced, and we know that they make their challenges and everything, but God is able to take us through, and I'm trusting him to give me strength to get through this campaign.
St. John candidate Charles Griffith, worshipping at Unity Wesleyan Holiness Church, said the journey of politics is a difficult one, that he continues to walk with God's guidance.
I'm asking the church today to pray for me and to pray for my team who accompanied me here this morning, because we need that sustenance in terms of to move forward. I can't do this alone, and I have mentioned before, it is impossible to do it alone.
Meanwhile, Christchurch West Central, Adrian Ford called for national togetherness, peace, and a renewed focus on the nation's youth. Speaking to worshippers at the Revival Time Assembly, he said political and religious differences must not weaken the country's unity.
Although we may have our own political and religious differences, at the end of the day, this is one country, one constituency, and one Barbados. I want the church to continue to pray for each and every one of us, understanding that it takes not only a village to raise a child, but a family.
Candidate for St. Joseph, Ryan Brathwaite, worshipping at St. Anne's Church in Paris Hill, says he will continue to lean on and trust in God.
Everything that I've done, everything that I've achieved, all of my opportunities have been strongly rooted in Jesus Christ. My favorite verse is, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways I will acknowledge him, and he will continue to direct my path.
Meanwhile, a major meeting with church leaders and religious groups in St. James North is set for February 7th. The announcement was made by the candidate for that constituency, Chad Blackman, at the Ashton Hall Evangelistic Pentecostal Church. He says at the meeting at the Gordon Greenwich Primary School, church members will be invited to offer guidance on working together to address social challenges. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
In Antigua and Barbuda, Cabinet has approved an immigration amnesty for eligible non-nationals to regularize their status. The measure is also aimed at addressing labor shortages as the economy continues to expand. Shanakisha Francis reports.
The announcement of the latest immigration amnesty came early Friday from Director General of Communications in the Prime Minister's office, Maurice Merchant. He says Cabinet's move is intended to address labor shortages and allow people who have fallen out of immigration status to regularize their status.
The amnesty is intended to address current labor shortages across key sectors of the economy, while providing an opportunity for individuals who have fallen out of immigration status to regularize their stay here in Antigua and Barbuda.
The beneficiaries of the amnesty will be able to bring their status into good standing without penalty, enabling them to live and work legally and contribute fully to national development. The Cabinet outlines the reason some non-nationals have become undocumented.
A number of non-nationals have become out of time, and this is due primarily to financial constraints rather than willful non-compliance to the law.
It will be the latest immigration amnesty to be introduced by the Gaston Brown administration. The government says it is committed to fair, humane, and practical immigration policies that balance national interest and social and economic realities.
And this amnesty would give them an opportunity for a new start, because it does not mean that after the amnesty that everything is okay. It means that it gives them the opportunity to wipe the slate clean and to start over, whereby they're free now to take up certain jobs and also to keep their immigration status in line with the law.
Details of eligibility, implementation, and duration are expected to be presented to Cabinet next week by the Immigration Minister and the Department of Immigration. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
In sports, we're on the pitch with cricket. The West Indies under-19 men's cricket team delivered a commanding performance at the ICC Under-19 World Cup, defeating Ireland by 62 runs to keep their campaign on track and move into third place in Group 1.
The West Indies under-19 men have been drawn in Group D of the ICC World Cup alongside South Africa, Afghanistan and Tanzania, against whom they will commence battle on January 15th. A release from Cricket West Indies indicated that 3 group matches will be played at a high-performance oval in Windhoek. And prior to the start of the group phase, the team will warm up against Ireland and Japan on January 10th and 13th. Captain Joshua Dawn is one of 2 players in the team, the other being wicket-keeper batter Joel Andrews, appearing at their second Under-19 World Cup. The full squad departed the region via Barbados on Tuesday, January 6th, with the first stop in the United Kingdom before proceeding to the African continent. Australia are the defending champions, having won the 2024 edition, with a victory over India in the final. India has won the most titles with 5, while the West Indies' only tournament victory came exactly 10 years ago in India. Wayne Cunningham, TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.